Hello. Welcome to this third summary video on Colossians 1:1-2.
Sie sind eingeladen.
This time we are going to take a close look at the scripture text with the intent of determining its original meaning in the second half of the first Christian century.
Paulos apostolos Christou Jesu dia telematas Theou, kai Timotheos ha Delphos, tois in Colossais hagiois, kai pistois adelphois in Christo, haris humin kai arene apotheu patras hemon.
The exploration of the then meaning of the text will establish boundaries for the now meanings that will be possible from the passage.
Let's take a quick look at the online commentary BIC Volume 15. Its layout and structure are important background to this video.
The BIC commentary stands as the anchor point to all of the content found in cranfordville.com. This reflects the evolution of the website from its beginnings as an academic website devoted to the classes I was teaching at Gardner Webb University in North Carolina. In order to access the BIC commentary, you should click on the BIC banner icon, as illustrated in the graphic. The Biblical Insights commentary is an ongoing project of mine. The long-range goal is to develop a full-fledged commentary on all 27 books of the New Testament. By clicking on number 15, you will arrive at volume 15, which centers on Paul's letter to the Colossians. A quick glance at the homepage of BIC underscores the inclusiveness of the BIC commentary. With 37 volumes, the commentary actually goes beyond an ordinary commentary in order to cover numerous related items to the New Testament scripture text itself.
Paul's letter to the Colossians has a rich and distinctive history in the larger history of the documents of the New Testament. Also, it has an important message for the postmodern world of our day. But before we jump into the scripture text, I have a proposal for you. Having taught Colossians numerous times as a senior-level exegesis course and as a Master of Divinity exegesis course, those course rooms are still present on cranfordville.com. Links to the parallel passage we're studying will be set up. These links will involve interaction with the scripture text in developing your own interpretation of Colossians. Here are the details.
In this video, you will want to do some homework, if possible. The materials are found under Volume 15 of the Biblical Insights commentary at cranfordville.com. The number of each lesson gives access to the materials. Lesson 1 covers Colossians 1:1-2 and should be targeted materials in parallel with this video. For the really eager student, the clicking on of the lesson number equals 01 will bring up the assignments made to the Greek 496 Advanced Greek Exegesis course taught to undergraduate students at Gardner Webb University. With a little higher quality of class assignment, this list of homework activities can move you up to a seminar level either in Religion 620 or Divinity School Greek 205, Divinity School class in a Master of Divinity program of study. Of course, this is completely voluntary on your part. But I will make this promise: complete the assignments, send them to me, clv@cranfordville.com, and I will grade them with an dated evaluation, and return the graded assignment to you. In the commentary on Colossians at BIC Volume 15, a couple of formatting items should be noted. This particular commentary volume was first produced while I was pastor of the International Baptist Church in Cologne, Germany. It served as the foundational study materials for both our Wednesday evening Bible study in Cologne and the Friday evening Bible study in Bonn. But these materials were later reworked and used in the Sunday school class at the International Baptist Church in San Jose, Costa Rica. The two country flags, that of Germany and of Costa Rica, were used as icons for readers with either a German-speaking background or a Spanish-speaking background. The content of both lessons is identical. The difference is the insertion of either a German-language Bible or a Spanish-language Bible as part of the listing of the scripture text's readings. Now we are ready to dig into the text of this letter of Paul. The first task is to determine the then meaning of the passage. That means exegesis in its pure meaning. To do exegesis implies exploring both the historical and literary aspects of the text. These two aspects divide up into several sub-aspects which we must explore. Once each of these has been thoroughly examined, we will be in a position to formulate a then-meaning perspective on the scripture passage. Then, and only then, can we begin exploring potential now meanings, i.e., applications, of the scripture text. So, back to the past. What's our strategy? The commentary treats the historical aspects first and follows with the literary aspects. Following a simple logical plan, we will treat the external history part first and then the internal history. The external history relates to the concerns of formal history. But the internal history is more connected to the issues of social history. To be sure, the nature of the scripture text will shape the questions to be raised. But the basic external history questions focus in on the composition and the transmission of the text. Who wrote it? From where? How? When? To whom? How accurately has the text been preserved over time from then to now? From the external history perspective, the document was composed as a semi-formal letter to the Christian community located in the town of Colossae, Tau Omicron Sigma Nu Kappa Omicron Lambda Omicron Sigma Sigma Alpha Sigma, to those in Colossae. The status of the transmission of this opening part of the letter was examined in the last video on textual criticism. Now we need to take a look at the compositional history as the other segment of the external history. The letter is addressed to those in Colossae. The town was located on the Lycus River not very far from Laodicea and Hierapolis. These were the three towns located in the Lycus River Valley where the Meander River joined the Lycus River. The Meander made its way to the western coastal area near Ephesus. The river valleys provided terrain suitable for roads to be built. Thus a major trade route came inland from the western coast near Ephesus and continued on across land to the Euphrates River in the Roman province of Syria. Although during the middle of the first Christian century, Colossae was in decline population-wise, the fertile river valley land plus the traffic from the trade route helped produce a very culturally and ethnically diverse population, that included many Hellenistic Jews. The dominant local culture was Phrygian even though the Romans by this point in time had extended the territory of its province called Asia eastward to include these three cities in the Lycus Valley. The beginnings of the church in Colossae most likely reaches back to the evangelizing activity of one of its native sons, Epaphras, Colossians 1:7, 4:12-13. The few signals in the letter point to Epaphras being converted in Ephesus during Paul's lengthy 2-plus-year ministry there. Traveling back home, he shared his newfound faith, and a church was born. Also, churches in Laodicea and Hierapolis were established. The names that surface in connection with these congregations include, in Colossae, Philemon and his slave Onesimus, as well as Apphia and Archippus, her husband who hosted a church in their home. In Laodicea was Nympha who hosted a church in her home. Others are mentioned, especially chapter 4, but as individuals with Paul at the time of the writing of this letter, and wanting to be included in the greetings sent to the Colossian church. From the composition history perspective, we need to not just look at who received the letter, but also who sent the letter. The sender segment of the proscriptio identifies Paul and Timothy as sending the letter to the Colossians. Paul, we understand clearly. But what about Timothy? In what sense is he responsible for the contents of this letter? The history here is not clearly spelled out. But in the very personal letter to Philemon, who lived at Colossae, Timothy is also included as a sender. He is included as the second sender also in Philippians, 1st, and 2nd Thessalonians. An additional insight comes in 1 Corinthians 4:17, 16:10, Philippians 2:19, and 1 Thessalonians 3:2-6 where mention is made of Timothy traveling to the different churches to deliver a letter that Paul has written. This larger picture would suggest that Timothy was the writing secretary for these letters, and even more, that he carried the letters to their designation and read them to the various house church groups in each place. The occasional letter nature, i.e., letters prompted by some need among the readers of Paul's letters, fits this scenario well. Who better to answer questions about the meaning of Paul's words? The letter would be read to the group by Timothy, and in the discussion that followed he could answer questions. This enhanced the letter as a substitute presence of the apostle with the various groups. In the case of Colossians, Timothy will share this responsibility with Tychicus and Onesimus, Colossians 4:7-9. In the next video, we will take a look at the literary aspects of this passage, as we complete the exegesis of Colossians 1:1-2. This will get us ready to tackle the exposition of the passage. So far we have covered the historical aspects of this passage. In video 2, the external history, the transmission history, was covered around the theme of establishing the text. In video 3, the external history, the composition history, was examined in part. Now in video 4, the literary aspects of 1:1-2 will be explored.